What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Review Wednesday, and today we will be taking a look at one of the best Pixar movies I've seen in a while. So before I discuss that Pixar movie, let's go ahead and take a background check. The Incredibles. So basically, The Incredibles, if you have seen my last Top 5 Tuesday video, then you are pretty sure that I am very fond of The Incredibles. You wanna know why? Because I think it is the best Pixar movie to ever come out. I just think that the animation was great, the story was great, the characters were great, and overall I just think that the movie was amazing. So warning, before I discuss The Incredibles 2, there will be major spoilers for The Incredibles 1. I will not spoil anything about The Incredibles 2 until the end, and I will let you guys off with a warning before I go into spoilers for The Incredibles 2. But while I'm discussing Incredibles 2, I will be diving into what happened in The Incredibles 1. And if you have not seen Incredibles 1, please do not watch this video. Watch the movie right now, because I really do not want to spoil this movie. This movie, it was a really amazing movie. I've watched it since I was little. It is a very huge part of my childhood. I will never forget this movie. It is overall amazing. So please watch this movie if you are a fan of animated movies. I love this movie so much, and I just gonna go ahead and just give my thoughts on the sequel for those of you who have watched the first Incredibles. So if you haven't seen the first Incredibles and you are very determined, no matter what, you will watch this review for some reason, then that is your loss, because The Incredibles is a very amazing movie. But before that, let's go ahead and talk about The Incredibles 2. So basically, at the end of The Incredibles 1, it left off on a very big cliffhanger on how there was this new villain called Underminer, and it was this very weird ending to where they put on the Incredible mask, and then boom, they're getting ready to fight the Underminer, when all of a sudden it just ends. Why they decided to end it off when the person behind the movie wasn't even planning on making a sequel in the first place? However, a fun fact, there actually was a continuation of the story, but it wasn't put in the form of a movie. Heck, it wasn't even animated. It was a video game. It was called The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer. And fun fact, I actually did have this video game on the PS2. It basically just, the Incredibles fighting the Underminer, they defeat him, and then they just go on with the daily lives. So basically, I thought that this was it for The Incredibles. That was done. It's officially over. The ending wrapped up the story, and that was it. However, everything changed once I realized that Incredibles 2 was coming out, which was going to be an actual full-length animated movie still continuing the story of The Incredibles. And since The Incredibles was my favorite animated movie as a little child, then I was absolutely hyped for it. So does it hold up as well as the first, or is it just a cash grab? Let's find out in the review. So let's start off with the plot. So basically, this movie picks up directly right after the first movie, where there's an epic fight scene of Underminer. And I just have to say, this opening scene of Underminer is probably the biggest highlight of the movie. I know that's gonna sound weird, but I really love Underminer's character. He's hilarious, he's funny, and just seeing the Incredibles dish it out with him, and just seeing all his jills rampaging through the city, it was just really fun opening scene. But anyways, it turns out that they just realized, oh wait a minute, superheroes still are really illegal. So then they have to live in this motel when Ellen gets a new job as a superhero to basically just be she's basically a campaign for super, so that if she does good, she can convince other people that super should be legalized. So that's basically what the plot, and Bob has to stay at home and be a stay-at-home dad, and obviously that's hard when your family has superpowers, and then Jack is over here making a mess of things. It was a very nice plot, and I think this is the only unique way they could have taken it, and I honestly appreciate Pixar for taking a very unique approach to the whole superhero game. Instead of just having the typical villain rises up, they have to fight the villain, the end. I'm so glad this was an Underminer story where the entire thing was just them fighting the Underminer. I do think Underminer should have played a bigger part in the story, because I've been waiting for him to fight him for 14 years. But however, I do think that he might be featured in The Incredibles 3 if that ever happens. So that we got the plot out the way, let's start off with this animation. If this movie does one thing better than the first, it is the pure quality animation. The animation is so smooth, it runs so smoothly. You can see how Pixar really worked hard on creating the characters, creating the unique designs. This is possibly the best animated, not the best animated movie, but the most impressive looking animation I've seen ever. It's just overall amazing, smooth, clear, colorful animation, and I just thought that that it was just amazing. It was even better than the first one. And now let's get to what all the little Timmies came for. The action. This action is just as on par with it as the first Incredibles. Heck, probably you could say even better, because the action here mixed with the smooth animation and the more high-tech technology, there is so much here to offer. There's so much amazing scenes with Elastigirl basically doing her swinging stuff with her elastic body. There's the opening scene which I mentioned, which is just all the Incredibles just dishing it out with the Underminer, which I thought was amazing. And action is just great. So I went off with all the pros of the movie, and obviously, as you guys can tell, I think the movie is good. However, there are some cons that I think should get worked through. So this is where I enter the spoiler section. So if you want to see what I give this movie, I give it a 5 out of 5. Almost just as good as the first Incredibles. However, for reasons I'm about to get into with the spoiler section, I think that the first Incredibles still remains on top. If this is your stop and you're still planning on seeing the movie, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. Alright, I waited 4 seconds. Okay, so if you are still here and you're still here for the spoiler section, let us continue. Screenslaver. I don't know what else to say about Screenslaver. She was not that much of an impressive villain. One of the only reasons I did not like Screenslaver in this movie is because it was obvious off the start who it was. If you paid attention, it was the most obvious person. We saw what Pixar was doing. They was trying to make it look like Winston, because they was trying to show off his aggressive attitude in the first act, how he's a cunning businessman, how he has the motives. He was in the spotlight for the first act, so they were obviously trying to make us believe it was him, but all of us immediately knew who it was. It was his sister, who had a deep woman voice that all villains have. She was in the shadows. She was the tech girl. And what does the Screenslaver have? All of this tech, you say? That's really convenient. And she has the motive because she's the sister of Winston, and their parents got shot because the supers didn't come. So that's a pretty obvious reason of why she is the Screenslaver. But I was sitting in the theaters and I saw both of these people. I was like, yep, it's either Winston or his sister. And then as the movie went on and the sister didn't really play a huge part in the movie, I'm like, oh, it is so gonna be the sister. And then sure enough, it was the sister. And so I actually do like her motives, even though a lot of people don't agree. Basically, her motives is that society is getting weak because they're relying too much on technology and superheroes and the government, and she just wants humans to go back to where they can do stuff by themselves, because this is sort of symbolic on how her father died. Instead of using the safe room in his house, he was relying on other people to save him, and that's what led to him getting shot. So I like her motives, but she barely did anything. She didn't harm a single person, and the reason why she's so lackluster is because if you compare her to Syndrome, you know, the person who wiped out most of the supers in the entire film, the one who would go toe-to-toe with the Incredibles and still beat all 4 of them, the one that didn't even get killed by anyone, he got killed because of his own ego by having a cape, you know, that guy. If you compare her to him, it's an unfair comparison. Syndrome is the best villain, and even though I will say barely anyone can compare to Syndrome because he's one of the most iconic villains out there and he's very perfectly made, so they could have at least tried a little harder. But I don't think the villain was one of the main points of the movie, though I was just not a fan of Screenslaver. So now that I went through all the stuff about the Incredibles 2, it's time for the final verdict and compare it with Incredibles 1. So while I do think the Incredibles 2 had better action, better animation, I still think that the first Incredibles had a better plot, better villain, better character interactions, better humor. I just still think the first Incredibles is better. However, you should still go out and see this movie, because as I said, even though it's not as good as the first Incredibles, it's still an easy 5 out of 5. Go see it. It was very fun watching it. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. If you have, then please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. What up everyone, the Sly and Sonic fan here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you guys want to see updates for new videos and new stuff coming out, check out my Twitter at the Sly and Sonic fan. You can see new updates and new news coming out for both my YouTube channel and StoryFire account. And if you want to check out my StoryFire account where I write stories, just download StoryFire in the description, and check out my channel, the Sly2205, where I basically post stories very daily. And so thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see any new playthroughs, then go to my homepage and look at the coming soon menu. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is the Sonic fan. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.